Greetings everyone, welcome back. It's Vin Ho of internationalvin.com. So whatever happened to China's promise to purchase American soybeans? I've got an update coming right up. If you're new to the channel, my name is Vin Ho, exploring trade. So in this week's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about the latest in the trade war and the promise by the Chinese to purchase American soybeans. So if you recall, back in October 30th of this year, President Trump made a trip to South Korea to meet President Xi Jingping of China, and it was a highly anticipated meeting because at that time the trade war was ratcheting up between the US and China, and all eyes were on Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi to see if they can make a trade deal. And it happened on the sidelines of the APEC conference, and if you recall, there were photo ops on the left side of the Chinese delegation of 5 to 6 people, and then on the right side of the photo along the table was President Trump, Scott Bessent, Jameson Greer, and Marco Rubio, and a couple other people. And so they were sitting face to face, and it seemed like the deal was negotiated a few days before that meeting, however, because if you recall, President Trump and Xi only met for an hour and a half, and then from there Trump announced the trade agreement, so to speak. And so a lot of photo ops, and then on Air Force One heading back to the U.S. If you recall, President Trump mentioned that China agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of American soybeans and agreed to buy 25 million metric tons every year after that for the next 3 years. So he was saying that American farmers would be very, very happy. It would be a huge relief, and that the Chinese agreed to buy very, very immediately. Now fast forward December, 2 months later, if you look at the data, China has only purchased 2.7 million metric tons, so well below the 12 million that they promised to buy by the end of the year, and we're only a couple of weeks out by the end of the year. So it doesn't look like China will be able to keep their promise, and it doesn't look good for the United States and the American soybean farmers. They just got announced this past week that they will get $12 billion in relief funds by the Trump administration for the damage that this trade war has already caused to them. So $12 billion seems a lot, but it's only about 1/3 of the $30 to $40 billion of value of soybeans that the American farmers produced in 2025. So it does help, but if you ask most farmers, they're going to say that they want trade, not aid, and they want to participate in the global marketplace, and they don't want to have the American government have a hand and cause different problems and the like. So in conclusion, it seems that China, despite making promises in the meeting and announcing that they were going to buy American soybeans, in reality they're coming up way short on that promise, and they're not coming through on what they said they're going to do. And that's because they hold the cards. They're using their leverage, and they're trying to show and to signal to Trump and the Trump administration that, hey, you shouldn't get into a trade war. It's only going to hurt your own people. Nobody wins in a trade war, and it's your fault of what's happening, and you should really stop the trade war, and we wouldn't have this issue if you didn't start it in the first place. So that is, I believe, is what China is trying to prove, and they're doing a good job, and they do hold a lot of the cards. So that is the latest on the U.S., China, and the soybean purchase in the United States. Again, it doesn't look good for the American soybean farmers, and a trade war all around is not good for anyone or any country. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.